I chose to do my comparison between the differences and similarities of Weber State University's Stewart Library and Utah State University's Merrill-Kazir Library. Both libraries serve an academic community. These communities are separated by 50 miles or 1 hour of travel time. Both communities have very different goals that they're trying to accomplish, and it will be interesting to see the comparison between these two libraries and how they are trying to facilitate the accomplishment of their university's goals. I interview Joan Hubbard, a university librarian. For Utah State University, I chose to interview John Elsweiler. Now, I tried to get into these librarians' head to really see what was going on and really kind of understand what they were thinking and what they were trying to accomplish with their university library. And so I think I really did a good job of that. And first, I want to talk about users and what they, I'm pretty sure, felt their users were like. Now, of course, that's not the answer that they actually gave me. They were a lot more kosher about it. What they both said about their users was that they serviced faculty, students, and of course paying alumni. But the difference is that Weber State offers community members to come in and pay $15 a year, which will give them a card and access to their databases as well as the ability to check out any books. Next thing I wanted to know from these librarians is how they felt about their hierarchical structure and what it was like. I'm pretty sure this is how they felt about their bosses.
They're out to get you. Demons closing in on every side.
Their government structure goes along this. We'll say Wolfman represents Weber State and Frankenstein, Utah State. Both are similar in the university president and university provost. Then it goes down to, for Weber State, the Dean of Academic Services, because Weber State falls under an academic college and department, so therefore they have a dean outside of the library, whereas Utah State does not, and so their dean is directly from the library and is a librarian. The next step is the university library for Weber State, and then 3 associate deans for Utah State. And then afterwards, it runs a similar pattern of department head, faculty staff, professional staff, and clerical staff. Now, the physical buildings and makeup of their libraries are for Weber State. They have over 100,000 square feet that contains 0.5 million volumes. Utah State has over 300,000 square feet with 1.5 million volumes and a barn, which is an ASRS system, that holds up to 1.5 million volumes as well. Now, the BARN stands for Borrowers Automated Retrieval Network, and it's fitting because Utah State University is an agricultural college, and so they renamed it to kind of give more ambiance to the school. And I'd like to show a little video of what the BARN does. Both schools have similar collection practices, and yet they're also very different. Weber State emphasis on collection is more for their curriculum support, whereas Utah State's is more for the school's research support. Both focus on acquisitions of cereal, although Utah State places a higher emphasis on it than does Weber State. Weber State also has a large collection of children and young adult materials that they use to support their university's children's schools. Both use Blackwell as major vendors and EBSCOhost as major vendors for cereals. Their information retrieval is all automated except in government documents for Weber State and Utah State Special Collections, which still uses a card catalog, believe it or not. Both contract through Series Dynex and have a user interface of Horizon, and both are on the Library of Congress system, with again exception to the Young Adult Collection at Weber State University, which is on Dewey, as well as special collections in Utah State University, which is also on Dewey. Now the budgets run quite a bit different. Weber State's budget fluctuates from year to year, mainly dependent upon enrollment. They have an annual budget of $4.5 million, with $0.5 million coming through donations, and therefore they are very much more focused on the donation and fundraising end than Utah State is. Utah State's budget is set from year to year, and it is a budget of $7 million. The university provost has agreed for the next 5 years to provide additional funding to support the inflation costs of cereals. Staff for both universities follow a similar pattern. There are 4 classifications to staff: the faculty position, which requires publication as well as a master's degree; the professional position, which Utah State prefers master's degrees but will hire bachelor's degrees; and then clerical, which requires at least 2 years of higher education, along with student enrollment. As far as development goes, Weber State does not offer any travel support to librarians to attend conferences. They don't also offer any internal training. Utah State, on the other hand, offers $1,000 for faculty and professional staff to travel yearly to developmental conferences. They also offer $1,000 for students who have to travel to various locations for an MLS program, and they offer internal trainings which are offered twice weekly. As Steve is saying here, this is the most surprising and shocking difference between the two universities. And that is the difference between Weber State University's Stewart Library and the Merrill Kazir Library on the campus of Utah State University. Thank you.